And we are back with the fourth segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. And in this fourth segment, we are going to be looking at not really looking at, but we're going to be talking about the Chicago Sky game between the Indiana Fever. Obviously, this was one of the highly anticipated matchups in the WNBA. The Sky, they have Angel Reese on the team. Everybody knows who Angel Reese is right now. Depending on what your opinions are of her, they might be, some of them might be positive, some of them might be rather negative, just based off of her attitude. I'm rather, positive towards Angel, but recently, I'm usually positive with Angel. Like, when she was in college, I liked the fact that she was, talking her talk when she was up. I love the fact that she's, loud and, aggressive, and she plays with her heart. Like, I love all of that, but all of this, stuff that's been going on recently with the WNBA and how they've been commenting on Caitlyn and all the things that they've been doing, now I'm not really on her side at this point. Now it really stinks because I really like Angel Reese and I really like her game and I think it's phenomenal, but it's just that attitude that she has. It's really I can understand why a lot of people don't really find her likable because it's just not a very likable attitude. Now, it's not. I'm not even trying to say anything disrespectful or but it's just I'm just saying I can totally understand why her attitude is a big problem because some of the things that she says directed towards some of these players they're a bit disrespectful, and I understand she wants to have her respect as well, and she deserves to have her respect, but there's different ways of going about it, and the way that she's going about it, it really just doesn't make any sense. And so another player on the team is Camila Cardoso, and she was on South Carolina. Now, obviously, Caitlyn has history with both of these players. She lost to Angel Reese 2 years ago, but then beat her in the recent NCAA women's tournament last year. But then she lost to Camila Cardoso after beating Camila Cardoso to play Angel Reese in the finals the year before that. So she's met both of them in the finals, and she's beaten both of them before the finals. It's just she's lost to both of them in the finals. So that's the history between her and that's the history between Angel, Caitlyn, and Camila. Excuse me. Now, why do I have a problem with Angel right now? Well, because of this. Now, you see this play right here. This image right here, and this play was recorded, and it was talked about on CNN. It was talked about everywhere because it's this was a flagrant foul by Angel Reese, and obviously it's a flagrant foul. I mean, look at where her hand is. She just whacked Caitlyn across the back of the head. We already know that the rest of the WNBA doesn't like Caitlyn Clark for literally zero reason whatsoever. I don't know why the WNBA doesn't like Caitlyn, because if these women use their let me rephrase that. If these women really think about it, they want the same thing that everyone else wants. They want more money, right? That's the only thing that they've been arguing about, and that's the only reason why they've been popular for so many years, is because they want more money. Now comes an athlete that can give that to you and can push your brand and can push your basketball and your skills, and not skills, my bad, can push your, granted, yes, she probably could push your skills, but could push the media coverage that you get. Here is the answer to all of the problems that every single one of the WNBA players has. And here they are treating it like it's garbage. That's essentially what they're doing, in my opinion, because it's they see Caitlyn, they see all the attention that she's getting, and what do? They get jealous. It's clear as day. Now they don't say it. They've never specifically said that they were jealous, but it is clear. It is clear cut that every single one of those WNBA athletes doesn't like Caitlyn, thinks her attention is too much, and like they just don't, they get jealous, and I don't understand why. Because it's not like, I understand why Angel would be jealous because she beat Caitlyn before and she got barely any attention from it. But again, it's like you guys aren't going to get more money and you aren't going to be put in a better position without her. Like it or not, you are not going to be put in a better position without her. So if anything, respect her, suck it up, and just deal with it, because eventually you are going to get a much nicer paycheck than what you're getting right now. But I digress. So the reason why I am like, against Angel a little bit here is because despite this foul, despite this, blatant hit to the head, and that's a flagrant foul in literally any basketball game in my opinion. Like just winding it up and pow in the back of the head, that's going to be a flagrant. And her response to that was, I guess some people got a special whistle in response to Caitlyn just, getting all the calls. Because again, it's like, this is just plain jealousy. It's as simple as that. I mean, seriously, special whistle? Like, are we serious here? They're not even trying to hide the jealousy. And it's what makes it even more baffling is how it's like, they're jealous despite the fact that this woman can legitimately back it up. Like, Caitlyn ended that game with 2 blocks. That is more blocks than Angel Reese in the entire WNBA season. Like, she has more blocks in one game than Angel does in the entire WNBA season, and we're already more than 10 games in. That is pure basketball skill that she just has, that the rest of these WNBA players, they just don't have it like her. I don't understand, like, they just don't have it like her. And there's a reason why she's getting all of this hype. That is the reason why she's getting all of this hype. When you hoop, when you see her hoop, it doesn't look like that's a woman picking up the basketball. Like, I am sorry to say it doesn't look like it, because that's just how good it is. Like, the way that the WNBA athletes, the way that they move, it's much more different than the way that the NBA players move. But when you look at Caitlyn, she is so smooth with the ball, and it's just so clean that this is why, like, people say that she could be in the NBA. Because I don't know if you really notice, but it's like some of these WNBA athletes, whenever they do a specific thing, I don't know why, it looks like they stutter. I don't know why. It just looks so sloppy and it doesn't look clean. But Caitlyn, on the other hand, her style of play, it looks much cleaner than what a lot of these women put out there. This is just what I see. This is my eyes, my opinion. You guys can have a completely different opinion, but this is just what I've seen. And on top of that, in this game, Caitlyn became the first rookie in WNBA history to record 20-plus points, 8-plus rebounds, 9-plus assists, along with 2-plus blocks in a game. And she's the 4th player in WNBA history to reach these marks, joining Candace Parker, Tina Charles, and Courtney Vandersloot. So, again, she is already breaking records. She's already in elite company. It makes total sense why she is getting all of this hype and why she is going to be the face of the WNBA in the future. Now, I'm not saying that some of these other athletes, they don't deserve any kind of praise. That is not what I'm saying whatsoever. But the fact that none of these women are even... I have not heard a single positive thing that any of these women have had to say to Caitlyn. I have only heard negative things about Caitlyn Clark. I have not heard a single woman in the WNBA say anything positive about her, aside from her teammates. And that is really, really bad. I'm sorry to say it, but I do not agree with that whatsoever. Like, when you're in... Obviously, it's dependent on the situation, but if you are a... Like, look at Victor Wembanyama, for example. I mean, the players on his team, they seemed to be jealous for a little bit, but the rest of the league, they weren't like, trashing him and saying like it's a whole different ball game than over in France. It's a completely different game here. Like, it's much tougher, yada yada. You don't hear that. You didn't hear that in the NBA when Victor was getting drafted. The only thing that you heard coming from these athletes was he is going to be a freak of nature, like he is phenomenal, he is, his game will adjust, this, that, all of these positive things you hear about Victor. And obviously, the media is going to say bad things too, but mostly from the players, I've heard positive things coming from Victor, or about Victor. I have not heard a single positive thing about Caitlin coming from any of these WNBA players, and I don't understand why. I genuinely do not understand why. And coincidentally, like my mother and I, like we were both watching the game, and she was saying that like she feels that the rest of the league is a little bit jealous of her, and it's like these were her words, these weren't mine. And it's like it seems like it's a very, she said it was I'm not even gonna say what she said, but it's typical, I guess you could say. Like in her sense, she sees it as typical, and it's like it makes sense why they don't like her, because it's like, they're really jealous of all the attention that she's getting, despite the fact that she is a rookie and she's never even played in the WNBA, and she's already being like, regarded as one of the better basketball players. Obviously that's going to like rub people the wrong way, but like at the same time you also have to understand that it's like without her, the league isn't going to be getting the same amount of revenue, and it's not going to be making any kind of money. You're still going to be stuck at square one complaining about not getting paid enough. So why would you want to be stuck there when you could, like all you have to do is just like, give her a little bit of credit. Just a little bit of credit. That's literally all that you have to do. And like, sort of give her that platform and give her that I guess you could say that blessing, I guess you could say, to lead the league and be that star that the WNBA needs, because like it or not, she is the chosen one for this WNBA league, like it or not. And a lot of WNBA players aren't going to like it, but that's how it has to be in order for the WNBA to gain traction. Believe me, if Caitlin decided to take the Ice Cube deal and play in the Big Three, I'm telling you, nobody would pay attention to the WNBA. Plain and simple, clear and cut. And that's all I have for this fourth segment. They need to stop with the hate on Caitlin. It is childish. It is unnecessary, especially like with someone that's going to bring so much good to your game. It's ungrateful. It really is. Like, it's just, how are you that ungrateful? It annoys me. But with that out of the way, we can go right ahead and go into the next segment, which is going to be the last segment of the show. And it's going to be about Game 5, which is going to happen tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about what I think is going to happen. This, that, and the other. My opinions, my predictions, everything that could happen right after this short break. So be sure to stay tuned.